Today we're going to be discussing how to properly decontaminate and organize a fume hood. At the end of each semester, all bench tops should be decontaminated, including any secondary trays, shelves, and an inventory for each hood should be completed. All PPE should be worn when decontaminating, including scrub pants, gloves, goggles, and a lab coat. As stains may occur, it is recommended to use an older lab coat if one is available to you. To begin, let's discuss the items that you will need. For dusting, you will use a Swiffer duster or a vacuum when necessary, followed by a glass and surface cleaner. We use a diluted solution of dish detergent and water. The next item you'll need is a glass cleaner such as Windex. If a squeegee is available to you, it will make the process much easier. And the final step requires mineral oil along with a sponge. A sponge is needed during your second step where you're cleaning the hood, and this should be different than the sponge that you use for your mineral oil at the end. Let's begin. For our first step, we're going to take all items out of the hood and place them near the assigned blue bin. We will revisit these items once the hood has been decontaminated. Our hood inventory is comprised of two areas. The items inside of the hood have a list attached to the back glass, which I'll indicate for you in just a moment. And the items for the assigned blue bin have an inventory list along the back as well. Now that I've gone ahead and removed all items from inside of the hood, we will dust all of the surfaces using a duster or a handheld vacuum when necessary. There are a few areas that you want to make sure to dust, which include both the top of the hood, the back of the hood, which lifts up, and along the front, which has an area to catch items. So I'll go ahead and check back in once I've dusted the entire hood for you. After dusting the hood and making sure that all the vents and specific areas that collect dust have been cleaned and vacuumed, we are going to go ahead and decontaminate the hood using a cleaning solution followed by a diluted dish detergent solution. By completing this process 2 to 3 times and drying the station in between, you're ensuring that the bench top and the hood itself has been cleaned. Alright, so we have decontaminated the inside of the hood by cleaning it 2 to 3 times, as mentioned previously, and drying the station in between. The next step includes for us to clean the glass, and we'll use this with a glass cleaner similar to Windex. And it's important to clean not just the outside of the glass, but the inside as well, along with the back glass. and I'll check back in once this is done. Once the benchtop and glass has been cleaned, the hood is ready to have mineral oil applied. The mineral oil helps protect the surface and should be applied in small quantities using a designated sponge. As a reminder, you do not want to use the same sponge that was used for cleaning. We want to allow the mineral oil to soak, so while it is doing that, we will move on to the next step. As mentioned, only small quantities are needed. And this can be applied in circular motion. Reapplying when necessary. All right, so as this sample area soaks in, we're going to move on to the next step. And it is at this point that you should inspect if any signs are missing or need to be replaced on the hood, such as the hood inventory signs or the designated space number for the hood. Once you have reviewed that all the correct signs are in place, you can proceed to do an inventory of the hood. I like to begin with what goes inside of the hood and dust and clean each item prior to replacing it into the hood. So as we go down the list of what goes inside of our hood, we will dust each item and place it back in its designated location. So after completing an inventory of the items that go inside of the hood, I discovered that I had a few extra items at this hood. So I'm going to set these aside as we reset additional hoods. Those may be from those. If not, we will return it to the stockroom. The next area to reset is the assigned blue bin, which contains glasswares and items frequently used. The bin's contents should be emptied out. They should then be cleaned and reset according to the inventory found along the back. So we're going to take out all of the items that are located inside of the hood, inside of the bin, I'm sorry. We'll clean the bin. We'll also clean and inspect all the items that go inside, and then we'll place the bin back in its designated location. We're now going to wrap up cleaning this hood by removing any excess mineral oil from the bench top, simply using a paper towel. And lastly, dust the shelves that are located just under the hood, and that will complete the decontamination of our hoods.